But first, let's have a word with Anvar Sarygulov, who is head of research at Bright Blue, a conservative think tank that actually thinks of policies. Well, the government could do with quite a few at the moment, couldn't they, Anvar? Obviously, we've got these slightly retro policies coming up. Have you got a sort of ready-made manifesto for the Tories that they could adopt?
Well, I mean, good evening, Ian. I think with things like imperials, with imperial items, for example, I mean, to be frank, the public doesn't care about whether their petrol is being measured in gallons or in liters. It cares that its prices are rocketing. So really, there's a need to deal with the current cost of living crisis. That's what the public really cares about, and where all the focus, all the messaging, and all the policy should be. And I think on that front, I mean, the government has done a great start with the cost of living measurements last week, the payments, but there's definitely more it could do in the medium term to help people.
So what do you think ought to be the big idea for the Conservatives that they should announce maybe within the next 12 months? Because what you can't do is announce a big policy 3 weeks before polling day. As Linton Crosby, the Conservative campaigner, always says, you can't fatten a pig on market day. So you've got to come out with policies that are going to embed themselves in the electorate's head, where maybe people think, I mean, remember in 79, Thatcher and council house, so the sale of council houses, that was the big idea for the Conservatives. Tony Blair in 1997, education, tough on crime, tough on the causes of crime. We can remember all of these things, but there isn't one that either the Conservatives or Labour have really got at the moment, is there?
No, and I think part of it is just lack of message discipline, really. I mean, the government just seems to kind of screaming 10 different directions rather than focusing on the short-term challenge, which is a cost of living crisis, and then the long-term challenge, which is delivering net zero, which are actually linked because, of course, delivering net zero, delivering energy transition to renewables will stop us from being hostage to international volatile gas prices. So really, it's about providing support in the short term and then delivering on net zero, which really should be the big long term.
But that's not going to garner many votes. You might get the odd Liberal Democrat voting Conservative. You start banging on about net zero, but that's not going to really do the trick. You've got to have a much bigger so-called retail offering than that.
Yes, of course, which is where helping people as quickly as possible. And part of it is actually just simplifying the quagmire that is the current benefit system. This actually a set of food vouchers, which are, for some weird reason, paid out by NHS rather than the benefit system to young families with kids. And there's hundreds of thousands of households which do not get them because they don't know about them or they can't access them. And it's about simplifying the system to make sure this help gets to people that need it.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Anvar Sarygulov from the Bright Blue think tank.